Dear friends, I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We're just coming from the holiday of Shavuot, and this week we'll be reading the Torah portion of Naso. And Naso, the longest Torah portion of 176 verses, the final verse, almost a standalone verse, tells us about how Hashem communicated to Moses, to Moshe Rabbeinu, once the Mishkan was set up, erected, and was the central place for Jewish life. And the Torah tells us that God spoke to Moshe in the Ohel Moed, in this tent of meeting. That's why it's called the tent of meeting, the place where God met Moshe, where God met the Jewish people. And Hashem spoke to Moshe in this tent of meeting. But where was Moshe when Hashem spoke? He could have been anywhere, in the courtyard, anywhere. Where was Hashem speaking to him from? From the Holy of Holies. The voice that came from heaven traveled over the ark between the Kruvim, and then it reached to Moshe. Who else heard this voice? Only Moshe Rabbeinu. Not even his brother Aaron, the one who was really in charge of the temple at that time, the tabernacle. The one who served, the only one who went into the Holy of Holies. Yet this voice he did not hear. Who heard Moshe Rabbeinu? Moses. And my dear friends, all of us heard Hashem's voice when he spoke to us at Mount Sinai. And what is the message here that the Torah is trying to tell us? That only Moshe heard the voice, but he stood outside while God was talking from the Holy of Holies. And perhaps it's trying to tell us something very powerful. That Hashem speaks. And it's possible that one person can hear and the other person doesn't hear. How do we hear Hashem's voice? So we studied in Pirkei Avot that every day there's an echo that comes out from Mount Sinai that talks to the Jewish people and says, why are you abandoning the Torah? Why are you letting it be shamed? Involve yourself, engage in Torah. Where is that voice going to? Again, it spreads all over, but who hears it? The answer is we have to be open to hear it. We have to be on that wavelength. When God spoke in the tent of meeting to guide Moshe, Moshe was on that wavelength, no one else. But God talks to every one of us. Mibein Shnei HaKruvim. He talks from heaven and it travels. Who hears that voice? You have to be in tune. You have to be, like they say, in the zone. You have to believe in Hashem. You have to believe in divine providence. Your ears have to be open to hear the messages, the nuances. You know, in the army, in Israel, for security, they have people who watch movement of the enemy, and they watch for a little change in movement, a little more activity somewhere. You have to be very tuned in. How do you get tuned in? The more mitzvahs you do, the more you study Torah, the more you think about Hashem in your life, the more you pray with the proper kavanah, with the proper thoughts, these things make you more in tune. To hear and feel Hashem's hashgacha pratis, divine providence. To hear the voice, to hear the words, to hear the echoes. And then it travels into you and it changes you. So I want to wish to everyone that we should become more in tune to hear God's voice wherever it is being spoken to us. Because God is always speaking to us. And that should drive us to do more for Hashem, to grow more, and to make real impact, and the greatest impact that we should all be part of the bringing a Mashiach very quickly nowadays. I want to wish you Shabbat Shalom. God bless you all. We love you all. Candlelighting time in Montreal, 8:15 p.m.